Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Dire Bear and welcome to Falskallan Nights. I am your host, the Bard with No Name. We missed you last week, but seeing as we were missing a couple of people and then it's just the energy wasn't feeling right, Mercury was in retrograde, we needed to make sure that everything was right. That being said, before we get into tonight's session, let's talk about advertisements. Given, go with the advertisements.
What? No. No. You know what? No. Listen, go advertisement.
You're muted, Matt.
Hot potato.
Hot potato, go!
Okay. I don't know what our advertisements are. I know we have merch. Check our merch out. I know that's a thing. I also
D&D
know
Beyond.
D&D Beyond is also hella cool. We love
Juju,
D&D
go to the main
Beyond.
screen.
Damn it, Juju! Juju is not sponsored this video.
We got
So yeah, we got D&D Beyond, we got our merch, and we also got Chum and our super awesome band. And that's all of our sponsors, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
I was not prepared.
That's why I like throwing it to you guys at this point, because I don't prep for this anymore. This was Tom's thing, and I miss him.
I know.
Come back, Tom.
We miss you, Tom.
Leave stupid, dirty BC in its fresh air and beautiful forests.
Come back just to do our ad reads. Thanks.
Exactly.
You can
Please say
read
bye.
about FX may vary.
FX may vary. Yep, we love FX may vary. They have many effects, and they vary.
Their
vary.
music is definitely tonal.
Yes.
And there's at least a tritone in there.
Ha. Ha ha.
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 Ha. I got that joke.
You got that? Oh.
Funny joke.
Semi-musical nerding. But that being the case, let's jump into tonight's episode of Falskallan Nights. Last time on Falskallan Nights, Team Them had gone into the woods north of Menestad to go hunt for the Lady of the Woods. With only a name and a direction, they went forward into the night, looking for this ghoul, this ghast. They found her, they fought her. And during this time, Lockett did the thing. I'm done trying to be fancy fuck around here. Let's go. They fought her, and realizing that the Lockett they had was somehow connected. At the end of the battle, killing her, her soul was unlocked, unleashed. We don't know really, other than, well, she now has a full body. She's known as Patrina. And she's from the dread plane of Skogagard. After a night of questioning her, after she woke up, or I guess a morning of questioning, Team Them have now decided to make their way to Menestad. During this time, Halsterian, if you had any questions, because I know everybody else was pretty much asking a lot of things, unless if there's something you wanted to ask or add, please.
Honestly, most of the questions I would have had were asked.
Yeah.
Do you like cheese?
All right. So then at this point, it's about midday, and you guys are now walking back you guys are walking back. It'll take about a day's travel to get to Ministad itself. And Patrina herself is moving slowly. Wait, no, you guys, I believe you guys made a disc the last time.
Oh yeah, we did. That's right.
Yeah.
What?
Don't those only last an hour?
Yeah, we were having to recreate it, but it was so she could ride on it and not have to walk.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't add another day to our trip.
Technically, we could probably break the system, kind of, if you ride on mine towards the end of it and create one yourself. And then I do the same for yours towards the end of yours.
Oh my god, this is so video game breaky. I love it.
We just alternate.
God, this is like Tears of the Kingdom, just jumping floaties.
Magical engineering. Magical engineering.
Yeah. When you have two spellcasters casting the same spells. If you guys want to do that, I mean, I don't see a problem. That's the thing.
Hell yeah, I'm in.
Like, fuck. All right. Well, then, it's like, the first couple hours are a little weird. Just getting used to the fact that you have to ritually meditate on and focus while riding beside a person on a disc. Yeah, and so pretty much the day goes by like this. You're walking back through the battlefield that once was, and in through the heavy thicket of the forest. Moving closer, you eventually make it to the cottage, the rundown, dilapidated cottage that you guys had stopped in once before. And at this point, I would say you're pretty much what? You're pretty much coming onto dusk. Like getting back to Ministad itself would be theoretically easy, but walking in the dark is, I mean, it's walking in the dark.
Anyone for camping out in there again?
I mean, it's hardly 5-star classy digs, but it's better than not having any protection from the wind.
I mean, I could also ask your grandfather if he's ready for us to go over there now, and it doesn't really matter to me.
I imagine skipping Manistad would be optimal, if the option is there.
Yeah, I can check and see if he's ready. I will send Lord Baltrus another message. Taking the scenic route back.
I can simply write it if you like. I mean...
Oh shit, you're right.
We don't have to show her that I'm writing the message in the book.
I totally forgot about that. You know, that would make a lot more sense. And somewhere in there, it cuts off the 25 words.
It was funny because I was counting. I was counting the words to that.
I was like, somewhere in here, I'm going to hit 25, but full ADHD brain would be exactly what happens in that moment.
Who is this?
Ah, shit. I forgot to
What?
introduce myself again. Al, can you apologize to him for me for not introducing myself?
Lord
Ian?
Baltrus, sorry for the intrusion. Goose has never really been good at introducing himself. We are ready whenever you are in terms of teleporting to the manor with our new extraplanar companion.
Yes. You get back. It's basically kind of like spoken Microsoft Sam style. Yours is like the new chat GPT sort of thing,
Wow.
where like it's you can tell that it's like almost real, but it isn't a real voice coming through on his end. On his end, it is very much Microsoft Sam. Just a
Love it.
very robotic sound. uh the door. I will have Kareg open the door. Come through when you do.
Yes, come through.
All right. He will be ready as soon as we are, it looks like.
All right. I'll start drawing a circle. Well, yeah, fuck it. I'll start drawing the circle.
Cool. Just give me a second. Okay, yeah. So you start drawing the circle. It's again, this cottage that you guys have been in here is just dingy. It smells of mildew and mold, and it definitely like it's definitely seen better days. That's for sure. That being the case, you're drawing on the floor. You're drawing on the floor again. It's very much like Toothless doing a thing, drawing on the ground. And at a couple points in the floorboard, they actually break through. You're just like, whoa. Didn't realize how rotted through they had become.
I'm like, just.
And eventually, your drawing time. Your drawing time comes up, and you feel the arcane power start pulsing through this circle.
To the manor. Everybody in quick.
It's at this point like you drawing the circle, and Patrina's been watching you guys the whole time. Not so like not like cat-eyed and just weary of everything, but just generally watching. As soon as you start it up, you notice that she doesn't immediately move towards it. It's more like I appreciate that, but I don't like teleportation.
Well, you certainly could have told us that 10 minutes ago.
I was curious to see if you guys were able to do it. I have a lot of trauma when it comes to this.
I see.
And the thing is, this teleportation circle hasn't been activated yet, but it's more or less like it's at a ready status. So all you have to do is like continue to push the energy that you have into it to allow it to go.
Put the little period at the very end. Or push enter. Well, I guess we could go the long way then if you want.
I mean, how far is this place?
About 4 days trip.
Yeah.
Or 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
You know what I say about trauma?
What is that little one?
Give trauma and just do it.
So, make a persuasion check.
Awesome.
Just
Nice. 6.
there's a thing about having your soul ripped from your body that does things to you. And the fact that you go into these things, do you recognize how these things work?
I mean, I
Which things?
made it.
What?
Howard here knows more than any of us do, as he's the one who was able to put the runes down, get that all settled. But it does make us nauseous every once in a while.
Do you actually know the theories behind the teleportation theorems, or no?
Me, no. I was in a different field of study. That was more Howard's repertoire.
Technically, even my field of study wasn't really in that area, but you learn things that you need to learn. So
That is absolutely true. But you can learn the facts, or you can learn. It's like you could copy the homework, or you can learn the facts. That's what I'm going to get.
much do I know.
How much do you know? Make an Arcana check.
Stop moving.
Are you saying that Howard's just a cheater?
Well, we all know that.
What? That's a 15.
Okay, so then you have a pretty good comprehension of it. It's like you're creating a point between two planes. It's basically like a wormhole theory where you're shortening the distance into one singular point, which allows you to come back out into another spot at a completely different space while maintaining very little time lost in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less like your body goes through more of like temporal space at this point. There's just, it moves so quickly that you can't perceive anything outside of it for the mere seconds that you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of this kind of teleportation is the fact that you are dematerialized. Your soul is ripped from your body. Everything about you is exploded in one way or another. Then you get put back together. So your feelings of nauseousness are very much unfounded.
So sometimes that can also be called an orgasm.
I should,
But I don't get nauseous when I orgasm, Spleen.
Oh. Yeah.
You just never done it right. I just never done it right.
All right, we're getting too far outside the thing. Again, knowing these things and knowing that my soul had been ripped from my body.
Yeah.
You could understand why I'm hesitant on all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then we'll just have a bonding 4 days. I mean, what's the big deal? We'll just do as we usually do. We just fucking walk.
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
I mean,
So let's
hopefully we can
go.
find some horses at Menestad.
We could.
Unless those give you trouble.
I once fell off a horse as a child. I never looked at them the same. Just eyes go wide and look up. I was like, oh, you're one of those people. Cheddar loves stop signs.
Mhm.
You just hear a message back from Baltrice. Are you guys coming anytime soon?
Oh, right back. She has revealed herself to be averse to faster methods of travel. The mechanics of teleportation are unsettling to her, and she wishes, as an extraplanar being herself, not to play with fire.
Again, it comes back. Oh, unfortunate. I guess I'll come to you. It's at that point, Halsterian, your book flies open and it flies forward. The pages started flipping and turning to a singular spot. And like, you've looked through this book before, kind of just willy-nilly, with stuff that you haven't written in and anything that doesn't really pertain to your spell usage or your studies. It opens up to the last page. It turns completely black, turns into red, and you just start seeing a swirling of magic come out, and out comes this visage.
I didn't know it could do that. Did you?
Out comes the visage, and standing before you, stepping out, 1, 2, just onto the planks, just you see Baltrice stand right in front of you. Didn't know I could do that. Now, could you?
Okay, so you're all
Yes.
seeing this, right?
Yep.
You just came out of a book. Okay,
Certainly, why not?
keeps eating.
Yeah. It's at that point he looks at you. Asterion, my boy, how are you? He hasn't noticed anybody else in the room at this point. And yeah.
Well, so far, the travels have been mostly easy.
Mostly easy. That's good. He comes up, he kind of just like gives you a quick it's just a bit. In fact, he turns around. His demeanor changes drastically. Boom. Everybody, like Halsterian, you can't see his face, but the rest of you see like you see these yellow molten eyes, and they start like turning almost red. His body posture just like, what the hell are you doing here? He flicks his hand out, and you see a blade just apparate out of nowhere. This absolute dark, like it's an absolute dark void of a weapon where almost no light ever reflects or sheens off of it. The best way I can describe this is very much like that paint that absorbs 96% of light.
Yeah.
And like through it, you don't see anything except for maybe just a couple pulses of like light really showing like the edges of the blade at this point. You didn't tell me that she was going to be here. This is her. What the hell is wrong with you? And she looks at him. I have no idea who you are. Why are you acting this way? It's at this point, you guys get the hell away from her. He like kind of pushes his hand on you, Halsterian, and kind of pushes you back just a bit.
What is going on?
This is one of the women that imprisoned me.
Prison?
Again, Patrina is looking up and visibly confused. Just, I honestly don't know what you are talking about. You were there hundreds of years ago. How the fuck did you survive that? I saw you die. He's now like the blade is leveled at her and like shifted to the side a little bit. And at this point, the blade is starting to apparate a little bit more. Like you see a little bit of dark tendrils just kind of bringing off of it. It's at this point. Hold on, let me see this. You see her eyes just turn and turn different shades of color rapidly and quickly. Howard, you would identify this as an identify spell. Which is at that point. Oh, I know your magic. And it's at this point, she reaches her hand out, Spleen. You feel the tugging from your chest as her locket starts rapidly vibrating.
Whoa, what is going on?
And at this point, she wills it at a point where it just almost becomes undeniable. It rips through your shirt. It grabs it into her hand. She lets it forward, opens it up, and you see a bright light just start shining back and forth. And it's at this point, it's like a light and dark just battling each other.
Yeah.
How dare you have his energy? Sorry, how dare you have his energy? Were you one of his minions? What the hell is wrong with you? And they start almost like encircling each other, and you see moments of like where this blade starts trying to reach out, and the light from the locket just deflects it and flicks it right back.
Can everybody calm the fuck down?
It's at this point, it's like, Baltrice, you have no idea. You have no idea the pain that she has put me through. And her, I have no idea who you are, but I understand the magic that you wield. That's not your own, is it? Where did you learn that? And Baltrice is like, my magic is my own. I learned this myself. I use this to defend myself from the likes of you. At this point, he strikes out. She lifts up and batters. Actually, give me a second.
Oh shit. Bringing out the big rolls.
Okay, we do that. He slashes down, and at this point, she raises her hand. You see just a shield just deflect off the dark magic that's going. Spleen, I would like for you to make a persuasion check. If anybody would like to help, by all means.
Yes.
Are you giving me advantage if you're helping, or are you rolling yourself?
I'm happy to give advantage.
Thank you. Please. Because I rolled a 2. Hold on. And it's so much better than that 20, bitch.
Whoa!
You have? I was like, it's a 2.
Oh my god. Amazing. All right. So at this point, he strikes down. She defends herself. You see, like, Beatrice, you're getting a good view of this. In the middle of all this whole thing, you see that, like, she kind of naturally reaches for a blade at the side of her body, but it doesn't go because she doesn't have one there. She doesn't go there. Desperation in her eyes, you see a mold of ice just create into her hand, ready to unleash it. At that point, Spleen steps in.
I'll rage.
You rage, and at this point, you kind of break the concentration for just a second from like the pure like battling energies that are coming here just back and forth.
Everybody calm down. I get it. I get being fucking furious seeing someone that you have a vendetta against. Like, damn it. She's been gone for a long time. She doesn't remember shit. A lot, really. Some things. But she clearly is confused. She might be our biggest fucking lead to the shithole that we are going through with the enemy.
And if nothing else, something I've learned through all this hullabaloo here is that nothing is as it seems. There's always more truth to find.
I'm sorry you got that fate years and years ago. I get it. I really do. But now we're faced with this huge picture. And light is being shown on it. A little more. And coming from me? Can we all act like adults?
It's at this point the blade just retracts itself. It like he kind of lets it go and it just does that. Patrina shuts the locket and hands it back. Hands it back to you, Spleen. She steps out and her eyes are now just locked into Baltrice's, and Baltrice's eyes have not changed color. And he's staring. He's staring at her. He's like, he quickly turns back to you, Hal, and he's like, "Are you okay?"
I would be better if tensions were a bit calmer around here, so...
I didn't realize that you guys were bringing back someone like that.
Well...
Surprise.
Well, fuck. And at this point, Patrina kind of just like goes and sits like back against the wall, a little bit closer to a fire that's been lit. And like I told you, I don't know who you are. And, well, I noticed that you're wielding power that you do not own. At this point, Baltrus turns around. I had to do what I had to survive. You wouldn't know that now, would you? But again, I saw your head lopped off.
Oh.
How did you survive? At this point, Patrina just looks. You may be talking about somebody else, because I've never once had my head lopped off. You see, like, there's visible confusion in Baltrus's eyes. Like, this is clearly a person that has traumatized him. And, like, this is... And for him to react so negatively, it's so out of character from the person that you know, who always either kept his cool, a very sharp demeanor. It is absolutely different.
Perhaps we should pool together what we know to see what the missing pieces are, because there are clearly some missing pieces as to perhaps Patrina's memory, perhaps even your memory was changed, Lord Baltrus, to make it so that someone's likeness appeared to be Patrina's. Stranger things have happened today, so this is Patrina. She is from the Dread Plane Skogagard, of which the Lockets seem to be as well. As such, the book that you obtained seems to be at least connected to that as well. Yes?
And oh, Lissa, you are muted.
My camera is being stupid. I don't know why camera is not cooperating.
It's mostly fine, but it has been acting a little weird here and there.
Yeah,
I've been catching
Yeah.
glimpses.
I've noticed. Okay, let me play with some things. Continue.
And what is this power you were talking about that he has borrowed, stolen, gained, whatever? I don't care.
When you're a practitioner of magics, especially as one as skilled as I am, you tend to learn and feel the effects of other people's things. It's almost like a signature. As soon as you feel it weld in the area, you can know kind of who it is.
Okay. I mean, is it like someone important? Is it someone you hate? Is it someone you like? You fear?
One that
Like,
I hate and fear.
okay. Yo,
That's
Baltrice, whose sword is that? I mean, like, what? Where'd you learn it from?
he kind of looks. He looks at her and it's like, "You're not women, are you?" He kind of like is he's looking her up and down. He's like, "Give me a second." Okay.
Maybe she's got a twin sister.
And she looks up. I have never heard this name. At this point, I'm just rolling dice between myself.
Yep.
It's like he's making a perception check. She's
Mm-hmm.
doing that. It's just a battle of wits going on between the both of them, and I'm just rolling back and forth at this point.
They're over there playing chess. I'm playing checkers.
Beatrice is playing backgammon.
Spleen is in the middle of them. The rest of the party is just like,
what are you guys doing?
kind of back and forth between them, like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and she says it, and he's like, I don't get it. You look exactly like her. You look exactly like her. Years ago, I was a part of the Falskallan Revolution. I was caught and experimented on with a bunch of other tieflings and Assamirians.
For what?
I honestly don't know to this day. There were heroes that had come in and released us all from our bondage. We were all effectively released, and we ran back into Anvar that day. I later heard that the people that had let us go were, well, the beginning of the Falskallan. Well, they were Falskallan knights. They created the land that we're in today.
Okay.
And she, and points to her, that is the visage of one person. She was a mistress to a very powerful demon.
A very powerful demon.
And at this point, Patrina, this is not me. This does not match my story whatsoever. I am not who you claim to be.
Huh. Well, whoops.
What demon?
I don't remember the demon. I don't remember the demon's name. He went under the guise of I forgive.
What? Would you what? What? Were those words? What did
He was the former ruler of Falskallan before the people took it over.
Mm,
He was part of the old Kodurian Empire.
okay. Nerds, I hope you are paying attention and following, because I, for one, am not.
Howard's writing
I'm
down
sorry.
shit. Like, what?
At this point, Patrina stands up. I've never come to this plane. I don't know what any of this is.
Mhm. Damn.
Is it really? I'm just stabbing in the dark here. Is it possible that this mistress of this demon was a construct based, whose appearance was based on Patrina somehow?
I mean, shapeshifters do exist in the ranks of demons and in the hells. They exist here, they exist up in the heavens. So it is possible that is the thing, but for them to get her likeness so precisely is concerning.
There was something else that she told us before you got here, and that was that the White Hand seems to have infiltrated and truly taken over multiple planes outside of our own. Several.
Which is redonkadonk.
That's how. How do they have this magic?
Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm.
Well,
Patrina looks up. I'm kind of concerned that you don't know this magic. She's looking at him. The magic that he wields is one of my former lover and one of, well, the former leader of the White Hand. He was Grom.
You say former leader, this implies that he is no longer, yes?
Well, I would hope to think he was dead. But seeing as their activities have been moving outside of my own purview, it seems like they are he's very much alive. And what confirmed that was that sword.
Would he come back for that sword?
No. She just like stands up. She stands up, kind of stretches back and forth a little bit. I'm not going to kill you. I don't have any purpose of killing a well-playing an underling of his. It won't get me closer to him or back to my plane.
Mm.
You speak as though Crom is still alive.
Last time I saw him, he was.
Which was
like
in your plane, correct?
Which was correct.
the dread.
Long story short, he came and took over my plane. And as an act of desperation, I betrayed my former husband to ensure that I still had power.
Well, darn.
Don't get me wrong. My former husband, Artefacts, he was a cruel being. He'd always pull people and creatures and things from other planes onto ours. He would bind them and then hunt them. Play games, toy with them. It wouldn't be just straight killing them. No. He would toy. And at this point, Crom got the better hand. He's the first person to have ever done that. A group of people that he had found within our confines, he bound them together. He created a interesting strike force and cut right into the heart of our kingdom.
This force.
These are just random people that we had, well, my husband, Arcalus, had brought in.
Looking at Baltrice, does he seem to recognize Arcalus' name in any way, shape, or form?
Make a perception check. Or, no, this would be insight. My apologies.
12.
12? Arcalus' name, you're trying to pierce through any sort of like well-guarded emotions, but at this point you're just seeing straight like just rage, anger, piercing veil, like just a piercing gaze that goes right into Patrina. But he's been deadly silent this whole time, just listening. And guard is up. So the fact, and so that at this point, Patrina continues on. It seems like my former husband, who seems like Crom, have gathered enough power to start sharing it with the people outside of his plane.
This story seems uncomfortably familiar with what is going on with Falskallan right now, with the White Hand and La Shiraz. I wonder then, does the name Felug Fellstorm ring any bells for either of you?
They both basically say no. In one way, shape, or form.
I was sure it would have been some sort of cover name anyway. Oh well.
Which at that point, Patrina just takes a step forward and Baltrice kind of takes a step back. She steps forward once again. And at this point, they're like on opposite ends of the cabin, which is more or less like 20 feet long. It's spacious enough, but it's can easily get cramped. Where did you get this power? She just looks him dead in the eye. I don't have to tell you anything. She looks. Of course you don't have to. But I want to know how Crom's power is standing right in front of me. And she looks past him and into your eyes, Halsterian. I thought I recognized his power in you as well, but I thought of it as just me shaking off the madness. Or a mere coincidence. But now that I see him in front of me and that sword that came out of his hands, I know exactly who I am dealing with.
Who's that?
She looks him up and down. You're the anchor point, aren't you? He always talked about trying to get back to this place. I didn't know the name of this land. He always talked about going home. But Arcalis' rune was proving very difficult to break. Baltrus looks up and down. I haven't a clue what you're talking about. I made a deal with an entity that allowed me to live for a very long time and allow me to accrue power and wealth. She just stands up a little taller, and you start seeing the aristocrat kind of just like the posture of a queen start standing up and looking down at a man who actually stands taller than her. Just everybody's the same on every plane. All they want is power. And they'll do whatever they can to gather it. So then my question is, why did you share this with him? And Alsterian, she looks right at you.
We are family. I have been studying magic to... Well, I want to know how it works. All of it. I was having trouble, so he shared some of his power with me. And we grew closer because of it. Until recently, when I went through that strange orb. Seemed to be visited by another entity. And one taking your shape, but being very much angrier, Lord Baltrus.
When did this happen? I don't think you ever told me this.
Several months ago, I was going into battle to try and put an end to what we knew of a major outpost for was that the major outpost for the White Hand or Lashraz?
Lumen guy.
That was
no, that guy.
It was an
outside
outpost.
of Lumen guy in Ilburn's Cascades. That was White Hand.
It was White Hand. Okay.
And it was more or less you guys hunting down the last remnants of a ship that had been basically capsized.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. I relay all that to them and add, and an old schoolmate of mine was there, NC. He, well, at a previous fight with the White Hand, took another locket that he had originally had for as long as I'd known him back from me. I was trying to track him down with it and more or less failed and succeeded at the same time. But he appears to be working for and or with the White Hand, with his own intradimensional locket. When I went into the battle to confront, I was pulled into this orb, in which I met who I am to understand is the Fate Weaver.
At this point, you see both Baltrice and Patrina go, like, wide-eyed. You're telling me you met an entity?
That is how I understand it, yes. And she was holding back this other entity that, like I mentioned earlier, took Lord Baltrus's shape, but was much less kind, less polite, more severe.
He looked like me,
He did.
but a little more, but more angry. And Patrina, angrier. Huh. It would fit. It would fit my crom, that's for sure. So you're telling me that you were intercepted?
Yes, the way she put it was that I was being pulled in by this entity, and she stepped in to prevent that from happening.
And you've been dealing with the lockets and everything else. It seems that if everything is to be right, I think we were all put here.
My fate. Oh! Oh! That's like the only thing I picked up on. I'm so. Also, these are really weird tasting foods. She's eating some candles. These taste weird. I don't know.
Spleen that's wax.
Swat them out of her hand. No.
Well, they look. Well, then don't make candles look like yummy. What?
I mean, some are made out of tallow, animal fat, but
Yeah.
not all of them.
It's like stuck to the roof of my mouth.
You need me to fish in there and pull it out for you?
Yeah.
Oh man. But anyway, yeah, it's Baltrice kind of steps back and Patrina steps forward. Why you of all people?
I suppose your guess is as good as mine, but I don't seem to be as surrounded by this power anymore. It seems to be not quite shared, but a balance with what seems to be her own, the Fate Waver's own.
Yeah.
Sort of a lighter power to balance it all out.
As at this point, like she steps a little bit more forward and almost getting past Baltrice, and Baltrice steps forward, steps like in between. Like, you leave him out of this. You do not get to choose what happens. He has the right to his own fate. Whatever you have cooked up in your head, I don't want you a part of it. And she looks up. I have not made any plans whatsoever, but I'm finding mere coincidences everywhere when it comes to this lot of people. The fact that I see that there are 2 lockets here, and the fact that a former friend of his has another one of these lockets as well, and also has unlocked its true potential.
Potential?
You do not realize that these lockets are homing beacons to each other. This is how they will probably be able to find you and do things.
That
Oh,
tracks.
That's how. Okay.
This is how we were always able to keep an eye on each other, to know where we were at all times in Skogagard.
is there a way to, like, turn it off?
No, there's no way to turn it off. It is dormant right now. Because it has not... I have not found a way to turn it off, but apparently pulling it to the plains has. But it still doesn't mean that as soon as one person unlocks its potential, doesn't mean that the others can not be beacons.
Hmm.
We need to unlock these things right now.
Okay.
You want to
Wait.
find where your friend is? You want to find the rest of them? I certainly do.
To what end?
So I can go home.
But you said it's a tuning fork, each one, right?
Yes. They tune to every plane.
You should
My
only need
husband,
one, right?
Arcalis had a library, a vast knowledge that he collected. He traveled through planes, gathered knowledges, forbidden knowledges, grandiose ones.
Mm.
He didn't even bother reading them. But when it came to desperation and times of need, he would turn to Kalis. And that's where Kalis would do all the reading and create objects of artifice. He created all these things. This is a very convoluted story. That being said, I may have betrayed Arcalis, but it didn't mean I didn't love him. At the end of it all, the worst part of everything here is the fact that I know that he's still alive. I thought he had died. And it's when I found out that Crom had kept him alive and was torturing him. Is when Kalis, Andreles, myself, all had these lockets made. So that we could get out, but we could get back in. Unfortunately, that plan failed. Or maybe it didn't. Seeing as I'm not on my home plane.
You only need one to travel, but you want to gather all of them
So that they...
prevent-
other people from doing it.
Yeah.
These are part of my plane. They don't belong here. And think of what would happen if they came into the wrong hands.
Wait,
They're already there.
you don't
That's the
remember
problem.
leaving your plane, right?
No. The thing was, when we found my husband, his skin was blackened. He was almost unrecognizable. Scars covering his body. It looked like agony. And the worst part was, he was chained. And I could see him pulling as hard as he can.
Wait. Y'all.
Which at that point, Crom came back in. He set up a trap. And at that point, I tried to beg for my life, and that didn't work out. Him ripping the locket from my hand, cursed me, took my soul from my body, and banished me. Banished that body from this plane, which ironically turned me here.
I think we have met Arcalis.
Yep, I think we have.
What do you... You've not met my husband. He's still back on
Oh.
that fucking plane.
Well,
Howard's gonna cast Major Image in the form of Ronith.
You cast the form of Ronith, and at this point you see again a very it's a lot grayer skin, like it's gray skin, lots of scars covering the body, and milk and eye in the left hand socket, and you just see like it's scars upon scars upon scars. It looks like it's absolutely torturous, where there are some open wounds that don't seem to heal. She turns to you, and she turns to him. She just kind of steps. She kind of just steps forward, one step, just two steps. She just puts her hand, cups it around his cheek a little bit, and tries to bring it to the chin, and it fades right through. He's here. He's here.
We met him.
He went by Ronith.
Ronith.
The nameless one, if I recall.
Nameless one, or she looks. It could be translated as nameless one, but in Drowish, it means the lost.
Yeah.
How long ago did you meet this person?
Quite some time ago.
Nearly a year ago.
Oh, fuck.
He was always heading east. He said that there was something, the locket. The locket was always pulling him. He was always following something.
Man.
Everybody shut up for a minute. And Howard is gonna...
Tell me what to do? What the fuck?
Howard is gonna cast Sending to Ronith.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
My name is Howard. We met long ago. Around lava. I think I know who you are. Would you meet with us? And that's it.
Make a persuasion check. At disadvantage.
Yeah. Voice out of the blue. I know who you are. Fuck. That could have been great. But it's not.
You could have said Patrina.
It could have been a 19, but instead it's a 9.
1 second goes by. 2 seconds go by. 3. 10 seconds go by, and you don't hear a reply back.
He's not responding. We only met briefly. Who's gonna trust a random message out of the blue? Voice popping into your head.
I don't know the things that Krom had done to him.
Well, He was able to hold a dragon back with his bare hands.
Crom was a very cruel creature himself. He fit well on the plane.
He was also cursed.
That would also fit Crom's modus operandi. Give you what is worse than having eternal life and eternal strength if you are not able to either live it or use it.
Yeah. He couldn't taste. He didn't really have emotion. He just drawn to the east. I can message him, but I don't have a way to locate him. Divination magic is not something I have delved much in.
Don't we, though?
Nah.
And I look
Baltrice,
at... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just like, Baltrice looks up. I can scry on him, if you wish.
It might get us some answers. If we can meet him.
It might, but the thing about scrying is I only see very short into the immediate vicinity. If I'm on a specific person, it's only locked on them. I could tell you that he may be alive, and he might even resist it. Give me a second. He holds his hand up, and Halcyon, your book comes to him. Just flips into a couple pages. You see his eyes. Like, his eyes have now reverted back to, like, yellow, and it turns back into a green. Green normalization of the eyes. And so he's flipping just back and forth. Here. Draws his hand in just like really weird ways. You guys are just seeing him basically kind of like almost write scribbles. And at that point, there, his eyes turn pure white. He looks up. You see an orb orb flash in front of his eyes, just boom, and disappear.
No.
I see him. He's in old ruins. I'm not too sure where. He's not noticed me. He's just sitting.
Take a sit.
At that point, he shuts the book, and the spell just fades. Here you go, lad. And he kind of just like gently floats it right back to you.
I will grab it and, I guess, sheath it.
So he's alive. But we do not know where. That's great. We also have lockets that have not reached their potential. And the only person that I know who has that potential was Kalas.
Can we perhaps find him with the other locket we have?
I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he's on this plane. I, unfortunately, do not have the magics to create images like Mr. Goose over here. There's a lot I do not know that has happened. As far as I know. It could be centuries since I've last seen the place. It could be years.
Hmm.
Time is weird, especially traveling across planes.
Hmm.
I can reach out to Runeth more. But I'm going to be honest. I don't want to spend more magic with the two of you potentially at each other's throat tonight.
Bruce?
I have no problem with him. He's the one who attacked me. And Baltrice kind of looks back and forth. I'm getting the point that she's not who I thought she was initially. Maybe the feeling that she isn't that. I have no need to try and kill somebody that I do not know.
So we break bread. Though I don't think we have any bread right now. I have jerky. We can break jerky.
Suppose one of us may be able to go hunt if we need any more, but yes.
I don't want to overwhelm him with messages, especially if he... I mean, he didn't respond to the first one. You bombard someone with messages when they don't know who you are or what you want. It's only going to push them away.
That's very much true.
Would
But-
he be more inclined to respond if you mentioned his wife?
Didn't really remember who he was. He only knew he had the urge to go east. That's the only reason I think it might still be a good idea to send another message. I don't know if he'll respond, but I can mention that we might know what he's being drawn to.
And don't use all those little in-between words, but like, we is the, like, hey, found wife. Direction where you. You come here. Wife Patrina.
That's what I try to do, Spleen.
No, you had a bunch of words like we and us
Try.
and along and in and all that crap.
At this point, I imagine Beatrice and Spleen, Lady and the Tramp, putting a piece of jerky between each other.
Yay.
It is delicious jerky. How would it been spiced? Wait, where did you pick this up? Dang it! This jerky was definitely covered in honey before it was hang to dry.
Yum.
I'm gonna pocket some candles.
You would be the kid that ate crayons.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
The
stop
name
her.
of
It's
the
just
color is
wax.
literally mac and cheese, okay?
That doesn't mean it tastes like mac and cheese, Spleen.
If you imagine it, like, almost like, you know how they're like, oh, if you pretend that you're shaking salt in the back of, like, your mouth and you can taste it. It's like that.
I'm gonna try and, without being noticed, point at Hal and cast message.
Make a sleight of hand check, please.
Beatrice and Spleen, I'm assuming,
Oh,
are doing
fuck.
the salt shaker in the mouth thing to try and distract.
That's a 7.
Yep, it looks like we're jacking off.
So with a grand total of a 7, I'm gonna cast message to Hal and be like, you should definitely give the next candle some taste.
The thought has crossed my mind.
You would be the enabler in the relationship.
And then I'm gonna cast sending to Runneth one more time.
Be careful, friend. He may react, but that doesn't mean he'll react positively.
Also want to add, we might know what you are drawn to. That endless desire
You're not to
drawing
say
you
endless twice.
in one direction. Might know the source. And that's it.
So I completely missed like the first little bit of that because I thought that was RP between the two of you guys.
Oh, the first part was between me and Hal, but then
Yes.
afterward I cast sending.
Yes, because I didn't hear that part. You're very soft.
Okay.
You're very soft spoken in that moment
Sorry.
where it was like you
Yeah.
started going. I'm like, oh shit, I actually have to pay attention to this.
Yeah, then I cast sending to him, and we might know what you are drawn to, basically, that endless desire drawing you in one direction.
Spleen yelling across the room. You didn't need to say endless twice. You wasted a word.
Might know the source.
You can just say might know source. Don't need the source.
And then I'm gonna be like, Spleen, it's called being dramatic.
That's the rest of it. Make another persuasion check at disadvantage.
We'll see what happens. Are you fucking kidding me? Almost the same rolls. 9.
Again, 1 moment passes.
Maybe he's sleeping.
10 seconds passes. You get the point that he does. There's no reply.
Are you pooping?
Maybe he's dead.
My God.
Oh wait, no, he's not dead.
No response, but the bug is planted. Whether seed is planted, whether or not it sprouts, is time will tell.
I don't suppose you've ever told him where to meet us?
Well, I was hoping for a response because I have no idea where the fuck he is.
Hmm.
In reality, I don't think he knows where he is. And if he still has a lot of my husband's traits, he's stubborn.
Well, he never really seemed to care much where he was when we met him, just where he was going. And that was less a place and more a direction.
But I can confirm he was stubborn.
True. We were more stubborn. I think that's the only reason he didn't just leave immediately.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't kill you.
Well, we did help save him. I mean, he freed himself, but we did help fight off a bunch of cultists trying to do some... The cultists were also from Lyshras, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was something to do with the White Hand, so... Whatever the hell they were doing.
Trying to make him do something.
They were.
What exactly were they doing out there?
Some kind of ritual.
With my husband.
Certainly seems that way.
We weren't really sure what the ritual was for. Couldn't really tell.
Hmm.
A lot of the circle and everything got wrecked in the battle.
I suppose, was it terribly far from here?
No, it was actually pretty close to here. Should we go check it out in the morning before we go anywhere else?
I hardly believe there's anything left worth finding, but it would be silly not to. At least check.
Yeah, and we can bring Patrina.
That's my point.
Oh.
And Lord Baltrus, if you... I mean, we're not going to complain if you want to accompany us as well.
Yeah, don't you ever go outside and touch grass?
I have a lovely garden in my home and in my estates outside of Anver. I do, in fact, touch grass.
Yeah, but not like grass-fed grass. Like yours is like
No, we're going to
like
stop
it's got
there.
no GMO.
It's just he's just kind of like he kind of has a light chuckle. Just he kind of gets down at eye level with you. Ours is home fed.
Ha! See, rich people.
You lot seem to be quite safe and capable of defending yourselves if she decides to turn tail. If not, I am more than willing to come out of that book and defend your lot. But that being the case, I'm not staying here tonight. So I'm going back to my manor. Please do contact me. He kind of just steps towards you, Halsterian. He grabs the bottom of his cloak. He flips it up and around, twirls it up and around. As he does, he basically kind of just erases himself from view.
Yeah.
Just from view, and
Classic.
I do need to learn me that.
It is fancy. I do like it.
Yeah, like why don't you guys do like stuff like that?
Because I create a door. I think Hal's the closest one to it with his ability to Misty Step.
Is there like any like rug or anything around?
We got sleeping beds.
There's moss.
I mean, to be fair, there is like one rug that has been heavily like it's been like it's full of mildew at this point. It's very like a wet sponge kind of really. It's at this point it's more soil than rug.
Perfect. See, I can do something better. I hold up the rug, and then when I drop it, I like roll away behind something.
Which is even funnier because it's only like, maybe 2 feet by a foot long.
But pretend like this is like a bigger one, Just pretend.
Where'd she go? I don't see her anymore. What? Wow.
I can't believe I am here with you lot.
You love it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
You'll remember us for the rest of your life.
Unfortunately, that will be true. Again, I appreciate you all for releasing me from the confines of that dreadful locket and and giving me back to the body that now I need to replump in.
The way you said that was funny. Me as a player, that's fucking replumping.
I am terribly hungry, though.
Do you want some jerky?
I'll take some jerky. And she puts her hands out.
Put a handful on her.
Yeah. And she starts chewing into it, just kind of and she's having a harder time, and you definitely still see the bags under her eyes. And even though the cloak is now off because she's out of the sunlight and the sun is now basically cresting into the night, and the blanket of stars are now beginning to reveal themselves one at a time.
I can go hunt something that's fresh.
I don't need anything that's fresh right now. I would just like to sleep.
Okay, well then go sleep.
I will admit I'm having a difficult time trying to find relaxation here.
Well, if we had just taken the circle, we could have been in a big fancy house.
I recognize that. Again, now that I know more about you guys, I can trust that maybe this circle that you take may not devastate me.
May not be doom.
But I'm also curious about this circle that's north of here. Wait, does she know it was north from here? Retract that. That's me metagaming myself.
I mean, we could tell.
Yeah,
We
like
wouldn't have
I
hidden
honestly
that
wouldn't have
information,
picked it up.
so
Yeah, so but then we'll go under the guise that you had mentioned that.
yeah.
But I would like to investigate this.
I do have enough magic left for the moment to try something that might help you get to sleep faster.
I think it's called me hitting you over the head with a hammer.
Well, sure, that might work too, but that wasn't. It was gonna be a little less harmful.
Yimmer, do you have something for her to just relax and go to sleep?
Oh,
I'm sure
that's a really
Yim's
good
got some
question.
shrooms.
Mm.
Yim's got shrooms for everything, so Yim
Yeah.
definitely has shrooms to relax.
Oh, yeah. Just been eating them this whole time.
Yes. At this point, you're high off your ass.
Hey, we confirmed that the guy did disappear and appeared from a book. You all saw that?
Yes, that's true.
If I
We all
say
saw the
no, will you
monkey.
give me another mushroom?
Oh, yeah.
We all sleeping good tonight. Yim, pass them around.
One for you, one for me, one for you, one for me. For you.
I think this is a little bit more than microdosing now, Yim.
He hasn't been microdosing all night.
What's micro dosing?
One spore at a time, friend.
It's like a microwave.
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 We all trust in Chef Mike. But I am okay. I don't need anything like that. I would like to stay clear-headed for once in my life.
Okay. Oh,
It has been quite a long time. I have to admit, it is quite weird having my soul in one thing and my body be doing something completely, I don't know the word, primal? Just instinctual?
Oh, that happens a lot to me.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, my mind was not aware of anything.
Yep.
That's nice.
So the fact is, now that I have my soul back in my body, I'm aware of what had happened. The people that have tried to tempt me, the people that I have killed, the people I've completely ignored.
Does this mean we'll have to kill Rana to get our Colossus soul back in his body?
Doubtful. It seemed like his soul was still intact. His memory, however, was the problem.
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of torture it was, though, I suppose. That would be Much more difficult than just hurting him, really.
Also, there's a chance we can't do anything to get him restored without his locket in particular nearby.
Also, I don't think you can really damage him anymore. So there's that.
Yeah.
Ivory
not
has
do
that
harm.
locket. Out of game, Ivory has that locket.
No,
I think
Yep.
Ivory gave back all the ones that we had.
no, you have all the lockets. Well,
The ones
Well,
that we still have.
the ones that you have are the ones that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know which one was stolen or which one is NC's. We just know that one was stolen and one was NC's.
You do know the one that was stolen
Oh, we do?
because you unlocked it.
That was beforehand? Okay.
Or did you? Now that I'm thinking about it, no, you didn't.
I don't remember if that was before or after they were stolen.
No, that wasn't. That was before.
Okay.
Just before, if I recall.
That was before. So you actually don't know the one that NC has. But the ones that you do have are what? Patrina, obviously, and then I believe you have Callus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also do believe you have one of you also have Carlos's book as well.
His
I remember
book.
you mentioned I remember you telling me something about these. You had found extra planar knowledge through an artifact. Actually, no. No, you never specifically mentioned it was Callus. Damn it, I'm metagaming myself again.
Well,
We did mention there was a book.
You
but
did
we
mention there
also
was a
mentioned
book, but
that
you didn't know.
Baltrus
You
had
didn't.
it.
Yeah, but I'm really trying here, guys.
I
So,
know.
it is a
You
lot
had a
to keep
long
track.
day.
yeah. I don't think we actually know whose book it is, just Grand Magus of the Dread Plains Skogagard.
No, I think I had mentioned. Or maybe.
I might have
Okay.
just not put that part down when I was putting down the Grand Magus.
Because I'm pretty sure well, just for reiteration, Collis's locket formed that was able to
It was the one that
reacted to that book.
Which is gonna be on a different page.
I'm still so curious. So you have 2 lockets.
How many
Oh,
do
You
you
have-
need?
There were 4. For myself, Arcalus, his brother,
Yeah,
Callus,
we had the brother.
and Andrelas.
Andrelas?
He was the second hand advisor to the king, ran the armies.
Hmm.
So, and then of course I'm looking at you, fate touched.
Indeed.
Wait, if I touch the fate touch, does that also make me fate touched?
It doesn't work that way.
Huh.
You have to be chosen by the specific entity.
Hal, choose me.
Not my entity, I'm afraid.
Oh. Lame.
Have you, I don't know, heard anything from that entity?
We did.
Not recently, no.
Mm,
Spleen, you said that Andrelis's locket is the one that was stolen from us.
I think so.
Then that means NC has our Colossus.
Then it seems that we need to activate these lockets to home them.
Do you know how to do that?
I don't.
Well, shit.
Callus would.
Oh, man. Oh, shoot, we should have asked your grandpa Paul of the great Paul if he could scry on a callus.
We can always ask him to do that tomorrow.
Wouldn't that be some shit? Oh, so it's like, oh, callus is like actually not like it's like right there.
Ooh. Char.
We love you,
Well,
Char.
welcome back.
We love you. Get all the fucks and shits out now.
Now let me get the
Oh,
thing
man.
running.
Bitch.
Fuck shit, bitch. Bitch.
All right.
There it
Well,
is.
hey. All right. Let's start.
Yeah. Hmm.
Where's NC
No.
at? Do we start with going to NC and stealing it back?
Oh, we don't even know. We need him to scry on NC.
We don't know if he's even in this plane anymore.
We don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
He
we
has
get all the
been-
lockets together and then we activate them and then you four go back to your plane. But how does that help us?
Don't know.
I mean, it would stop the movement of people abusing those lockets. And if what you're telling me is correct, is that, well, one or two of these lockets are probably in the White Hand's
They are.
hands. So, it seems like we have a common enemy. It seems to be in our best interest to find them and to hunt them back.
Yep.
It seems to be in our best interest to work together, unfortunately. That means I also probably have to work with you, Fate Touched, and the Forebearer.
It does appear so.
Which also
Strange
means-
times.
Strange
Make for
bedfellow.
strange friends.
Speaking of bedfellows, I think it's time for everyone to get some sleep.
Agreed. And it's at this point, like, the sun is now fully set and the stars are out. The way the cottage is kind of dilapidated, it's more or less things that are the roof joists are running into each other, and there's some that have completely collapsed through. So you see bits of stars through the ceiling itself, through the roof. It's nice for more or less like a temporary shelter, but it's definitely not meant for long lasting.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you do have a fire lit in the fireplace. I was going to call it a fire pit. I'm like, that does not that does not fit what I'm trying to think right now. I'm tired, but
You're doing great.
You're doing great, sweetie. But yeah, so the fire's lighting the room in a more of a romantic ambient, more of an ambient way. At this point, you kind of just let it die off. Is she? At this point, this is the first time Patrina's really looked up and started seeing the stars, and she just comments, "You know, it is interesting to see the stars from another plane, because none of them are the same. To understand the stories that are there and behind them."
Interesting.
I was always so curious about this. Except those. And she looks up and sees a cluster of stars. I recognize those ones. And I'd like for you all to make a perception check.
Okay. Perception.
All right. Halsterian.
For a grand total of 4, rolling a natural 1.
Oh man.
Yimmer.
Not to leave Hal hanging. Yimmer will also have a natural 1.
That's the shrooms, guys. Howard.
19.
Beatrice.
12.
Spleen.
23.
Nice.
I know these stars. Well, I know around the stars.
She points out a cluster of stars. It seems more or less like a couple almost forming almost not a perfect square, but more or less like an off-kilter, like it's a not a rhombus, trapezoid.
Sure, yeah.
No, the kiltered, so it's like
Parallelogram.
Parallelogram is if it's very specifically still a rhombus.
Yeah.
A version of a rhombus, but more or less rhombus-like. And she says, "I recognize those ones. We call it the rift." And Beatrice and Spleen and Howard, you look up, and she's pointing to the star constellation of the Sundering. Maybe there are things that planers. I'm tired.
Transcend sendings.
Yes, they transcend the planes. How beautiful.
Yeah. That
one's a pony.
you need to go to sleep.
I need to go to sleep. Okay.
You're done.
Who's taking watch?
Yo.
All right, Howard. For the sake of it, it's not going to be a very eventful night, but you watch over everybody as everybody starts getting sleep. Are you doing anything specific, or are you just kind of keeping an eye?
Contemplating a whole lot to the point that I rolled a natural 1.
Oh man.
A lot of ones going around.
Yeah, well, get them out now.
Mm-hmm.
Get them out now before the next battle.
Mm-hmm.
You're contemplating a lot, and you notice that, like, Beatrice and Spleen are spooning. You're kind of having a hard time telling which one is being bigger spoon right now. It almost seems like they're battling for it, even though they're both sleeping.
Sounds about right.
Battle spoons.
Yeah. Sporks.
Yeah.
Humor is now mastered the art of sleeping with his eyes open.
Oh my god.
Pupil is dilated.
Humor's just completely dilated. And at that point, and Halsterian is just fast asleep. Just fast asleep. You see Patrina, though, being she's shifting a lot in her sleep and seems very was able to get sleep, but seems to be very turmoiled. One hour goes by. 2 hours go by. For the sake of it, the night goes by. And y'all wake up at the crack of sunrise, feeling fully restored and fully rested. As you guys are awakened, you see Patrina already up, just kind of staring blankly at the wilderness. I do not know how long it takes for you guys to get prepared, but I would like to go as soon as we can.
Easy enough.
Certainly.
I fucking got stereo on that one. It's
Won't be long.
yeah. And so anything you guys want to do before I just start rolling us forward?
Nope.
I think I'm good at the moment.
Okay. Waking up and now choosing to go north, you see the spring mists burning off a lot of the cold dew that's been that was on the grass that is starting to freshly grow. The sound of the water of the river that's right beside you all, the same familiar river that started this whole journey. You follow it up and through the winding creeks in the meadows, over a couple of bridges that had been set and very creaky and rickety, but still holding very strong and true. I would like you all to make a history check for me, please. Spleen at advantage because this is tracking. Or not tracking, this is local area knowledge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Spleen, we'll start with you.
13.
Cool. B.
Also 13.
Oh my
Yimmer?
goodness.
11.
Howard?
Natural 20. 24.
Nice. Halsterian?
15.
Nice. So, Howard, you remember this area quite well, and you remember it being more filled with smoke. And ironically, also, pardon me, where you had met Raskan's boys.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you start following up the trail, and you see that the trees that were once burned are growing back just a bit. There's some that have taken to the flame and are not coming back, but there are others that are striving. And at this point, there's also little sprouts of grass and other plants growing through what was once ashen soil.
Nice.
Nature finds a way.
Mm-hmm.
And so you move up, and you find the same cliffside that you'd rounded and eventually leading to the point where you saw Roneth. The lava is now fully just solidified. It's more or less like rock. There's rock shape. There's no sign of any heat from it whatsoever. It's very much just solid at this point. You see the center pillar that once split what was a river in half with one drawbridge right across.
Here we are.
And off on one side, you still see the stone that he was chained to, with the chain still there. It doesn't look like this place has been touched in a very, very long time. At this point, Patrina starts walking around and looks at this. How are these flimsy things able to hold him back?
It was... They were having to concentrate on some kind of spell that was keeping him weakened.
That will do it. You can't break a curse, but you can certainly weaken it.
Yeah, it took all of them. When the fight ensued, they lost focus on it and he broke free.
Mm-hmm. That is good. And she starts looking around and like, rolled a natural 19 on that. Fuck yeah. Right on. She starts looking around. Anybody else wanting to do perception checks? Like, what are you guys specifically doing? If there's anything you want to specifically do.
Actually, I would like to use an ability that I've been holding off on to use magic awareness.
You've now made magic scene. Its autistic brain is now shuddering.
Basically, I know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover. Basically, I open my awareness to the presence of concentrated magic until the end of my turn.
Okay.
And can, if sensing a spell, I learn what school of magic it belongs to. Not sure if that's going to be relevant here, but we'll find out.
That's why you do it. You don't know until you try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you open up your awareness, and so at this point you kind of take a giant breath, you relax, and you start feeling extrasensory things coming at you left, right, and center. It's not like overwhelming at first. It's more or less just like, oh, there's an inherent magical feeling to this area, but you're having a hard time really pinpointing it. And so at this point, Patrina starts walking around and walking almost in like in a rhythmic movement and looking at the ground, almost looking specifically for something. And she stops at about what would be if the stone that held Ronith was 12, she would be at 8 o'clock. At the 8 o'clock position. She stops, moves a little bit of patch of dirt. Huh, interesting. There's a rune here.
Still intact.
Still intact.
Do I recognize it at all?
Make an Arcana check.
$25.
25?
Mm-hmm.
You don't recognize this one specifically. It looks more or less like it was a part of a larger setup.
Mm-hmm.
And so more or less you basically find like the letter E.
E.
Okay.
Well, they were trying something here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if we can find something else. And at this point, she spends another half an hour just kind of thoroughly searching the soil or like the stone, the soil. Like it kind of changes grits and textures throughout.
I'm going to assist her with that.
Yeah. If you can roll an investigation check.
Mm-hmm. 16.
Okay. So you find one or two more runes throughout, and they seem to be more or less perfect circle, ending at the stone. And again, they're only like one or two specific things, and they're like a start of a line, but it just fades out. You're trying to put together what it may be, but at that point, it's very difficult to have. Really difficult to really just concentrate on that and figure out what is going on there, because at that point, it could be anything.
Yeah, we've got an incomplete formula.
Yeah. It seems like they were attempting something here. I mean, as you said. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be finding anything else, especially direction other than east.
Yeah. I am going to sketch what we were able to uncover.
Okay.
Just in case it becomes relevant, but it's one of those like back of the page notes that
Yeah. For that, yeah, just mark in your notes. Incomplete circle formula. Put Ron F. Stone just as a good header to bookmark it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were they doing to you, my dear? What were they doing to you? All right. We need to unlock these. We need to unlock these lockets.
Should we go to your grandfather's house? Grimoire is probably the best bet we have in figuring out something more about these amulets for the time being.
Unless there's something we can learn from the Artificer's Triumvirate. Yes.
Patrina, are you...
I'm fine with doing this now.
Okay.
Again, you wake up and you have people telling you that they know exactly who you are. You don't know their intentions.
Of course. Understandable.
Why do you think I would be hesitant?
Hal, you wanna let him know we're on the way?
Certainly. I scribble in my book. Let him know.
And your book scribbles back, booty rocking everywhere.
Yeah.
We caught him in the middle of just jamming out in the morning.
Yes, he likes to keep an active, retained set of minstrels. So he wakes up in the morning and jams out to them sweet vibes. All right. At that point, he retorts back. The room is open.
All right.
Room is open.
Anyone have any last minute things to do here?
Nope.
No more candles.
No, I think I'm good. My tummy hurts.
What
It'll
else did you
pass.
eat?
A little bit of the rug.
Oh no.
Were you rug munching all night?
Wow.
Well,
That joke wrote itself. I had to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna draw that circle out.
you take the time to draw it out. It is absolutely perfect. You light it up and you go. You all jump in. And with that, you run in, run in. And you landed at Baltrice's manor. Except for Halsterian.
Damn it.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
I fucking knew it! I knew it was a bad idea! Oh well.
Look, where did Hal go?
Well, we're gonna find out next time.
We're going to find out next week on Falskallan Nights. That being the said case, said things, words, why? Let's get into the ending announcements. Let's find somebody to raid. I believe dummies and dice rollers are on.
Yes, they are.
Sweet, we'll get them going on. But I'd like to thank D&D Beyond for sponsoring us tonight, and effects may vary. If you have time, please check it out, because Charminar is actually is the DM and one of the people in the band that is sponsoring us. So every second Monday, she runs a game, and I've actually DM'd for it too. They're a really good group of people, and so if you have the time, please come and check them out. Please join the Discord, because at that point you'll be aware whenever games are starting, new games possibly popping up. And please check out the Dire Bear Discord, the merch, with a whole bunch of slew things and the. Okay, we're going out now. Do you dare to imagine? Have a good night.
Have you ever fought a dragon and stormed its mountain lair? Have you ever killed a vampire and seen the evil in its lair? Have you ever sought adventure and couldn't find it anywhere? Well, here's the answer to your call. We're gonna die a bear. Adventuring company. Come leave behind all your cares. Die a bear. Rah!